Good morning. We're letting people out of the waiting room. It's so good to have all of you here this morning on this crisp fall day. So welcome to our More Than Meets the Eye experience. We're going to let a few more people out of the waiting room and we'll get started in just a minute. So welcome to you who we've just let out of the waiting room. We thank you for joining us this morning for our More Than Meets the Eye experience. We're here to inspire you today and to thank you for your support of Vision Forward, and we'll be getting started in just a minute. All right. It looks like we've welcomed everyone out of the waiting room. We'll start in just a minute. I'm Susan Eggold. I'm our Retail and Outreach Manager here at Vision Forward, and I'm just so pleased that all of you are joining us today for this More Than Meets the Eye experience. I just have a few things I want to go through with you before we get underway. I want to let you know that we will welcome questions, and to do that, we'll be using the chat feature. So if you've used the chat feature before, you'll know how to do this already, but if you're new to it, you can do this access chat in a couple of ways. There's a chat icon that's at the bottom of the screen. If you click on that, that'll open up a chat window. You can just type your questions right in that window and then hit enter. I will see those questions. I'll be serving as moderator. If it's something I can answer right away, I'll do so. Otherwise, I'll save your questions for our speakers and we'll address them at the end. If you're using keyboard commands, you can use Alt-H. You'll tab to input your text. You'll type your message and then you'll hit return. So again, if you're using keyboard commands, you'll use Alt-H. And sometimes too, I know it happens on my screen with that chat icon. If you don't see that, you may have to hit on the word more, and that will bring up chat as an option. So we're ready to get started. Today we're going to hear from a few people. We're going to hear from Lisa Whitmore, who's a member of our board. We'll hear from Shailene, who's a client and has a very powerful story to tell. We'll hear from Erica Weiss, who's been a social worker here at Vision Forward for more than 30 years. And we'll hear from Terry Davis, who is our executive director. So we're ready to get started. And with that, I will turn the floor over to Lisa.
Thank you, Susan. Welcome everyone to More Than Meets the Eye. Thank you for joining us this morning and for taking time to learn more about Vision Forward and the impact of our mission. My name is Lisa Whitmore. I'm proud to be a board member. The mission of Vision Forward is particularly meaningful to me as I've been personally impacted by vision loss. My husband, Mark, lost most of his eyesight 10 years ago. It happened suddenly as a result of a surgical procedure that damaged his optic nerve. The impairment resulted in his inability to drive and consequently his inability to perform his job. It's had a major impact on our lives. At the time, we did not know all about Vision Forward and the services they could provide. We mistakenly believed that blind services meant that you had to be totally blind. Had we known about the services that we could have attained through Vision Forward, our adaptation to our new normal would have been easier. So it is imperative that we get the word out about the services that Vision Forward can provide to those who have a need. Now, I would like to introduce you to Shailene, who is going to tell us about her personal journey through vision loss.
Good morning. My name is Shailene. I'm a proud parent of a 3-year-old. I am a peer support specialist and a college graduate, and I'm totally blind. In 2006, I started having very bad headaches and pain in my right eye and pain in my knees. And I was like, what is this? And I was seeing brown spots. So I didn't know what was going on. I was confused and I was like going back and forth to doctors and stuff like that. And I just thought it was something in my eye. Then all of a sudden, my eyesight started to deteriorate. I had to have spinal taps. Um, I went to the doctor. They said that it was all in my mind, that it was nothing going on. One of the people who help you at the eye exams at Walmart, her name was Anissa, gave me a free eye exam and was like, you need to go to a specialist because your optic nerves are swollen. So finally, I was able to contact them through my insurance and get to see a specialist. Then I got admitted to the hospital because the pressure started building up. And after that, I had to have a nerve sheath fenestration surgery because they said that my right eye was gone. After the nerve sheath fenestration surgery, I had sight for 11 days, and then I started to lose my sight in both eyes. And I ended up having to be rushed into the hospital and get a VP shunt, and then I was totally blind. I had a social worker that worked with me and brought me out to, which was then the Badger, and which is now the Vision Forward Center, and started to ask them how could they help me. But my family was very persistent on not letting me wallow in self-pity. So my brother broke a broomstick handle and started helping me to get around. He showed me how to get to the store. He helped me to cook on the stove while I waited to get into Vision Forward. They got me in. I came for a while and I completed my mobility and technology and cooking classes because I had this attitude like nobody can tell me nothing because I was just going blind. So I still had to find the ability to understand and cope within myself. And once I got over that attitude that people weren't trying to demand that I do something, that I was able to learn and gain a better understanding of how to get around and do things. And then I enrolled in college. I went to MATC. From there, Vision Forward came out and helped me get around, taught me, how to navigate through the building and whatever I needed to, be independent. From there, I ended up going to Alverno College. They also came out and helped me get around this college like persistently. Helped the college people to learn how to transcribe the books, and because I was one of the first totally blind students to go there. Vision Forward has been a very great asset in my life. Like with my job right now, they came out to my job. I work for a company called Our Space Inc. They came out and they put the computer program on the computer, helped me and my supervisor to know how to use the program by sending the information not just to me but to my supervisor as well, giving me a full tour of the building and showing me how to get around adequately. When I moved into my own home, they taught me how to get through my neighborhood in my home. It taught me how to independently catch the buses. So it may have not been a cakewalk for it to be diagnosed with pseudotumor cerebri and to be blind, but as a blind person, I have been able to adapt and overcome. I know that there's different technologies that can assist me without having to codepend on someone, and also know that I may need a person that has sight to help me as well. So I know that despite my blindness, I'm able to do it on my own, but I'm open to accept help. And that's what people need to understand, that you are willing to get assistance from an organization that's there to help you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Erica Weiss, and I am the social worker here at Vision Forward. And I want to reflect on some of the comments that Shailene just shared with us, because it's not only her personal story, but she really represents so many people who have come to Vision Forward through the years. Now, she started by talking about this sudden thing that happened in her life. She was not prepared to be a blind person, and this is so common for so many of the people that I have talked to through the years. The majority of people weren't expecting this to happen. They weren't prepared. And so you can imagine somebody who's a young adult just on the beginning of her life, and she suddenly finds that she's a blind person. How do you adjust your goals? How do you think about what your future is going to be? It really makes a big impact on the rest of your life, of course. So she reflects on the experience of being a new visually impaired person. She talked about being discouraged, being confused, and naturally being angry about what happened to her. And she is fortunate in the fact that her family recognized that this was not a place that Shailene was going to stay. She needed to find a new path. She needed to reorganize her life. And so they were going to be that bridge for her in helping her to kind of come to her new awarenesses and her new abilities. And of course, that was part of how she found Vision Forward, and talks about the really rich variety of trainings that she's been involved with. A lot of different things that helped her in her personal and in her work life. She referred to, as you noticed, coming back to Vision Forward a number of times. And this isn't considered a failure, but instead a success, because as she realized that she had new challenges, new demands in her life, she knew how to reconnect with Vision Forward. And every time she had her skills updated, her know-how was really increased, and she became a more competent person. At the end of Shailene's comment, she starts to talk a little bit more now about the attitude change that she had, and that she needed to find a balance of when can she be that independent person that she loves to be, and when does she need to really get other people involved in accomplishing her goals. I look at her story and what she said, and I think that Shailene has really become a smart and skillful blind person. And I'm so proud and gratified to be part of the team that has been able to help people like Shailene to offer her gifts for her family and for the community. And I think her talents have not been wasted. So next you will hear from our Executive Director, Terry Davis. Terry?
Thank you, Erica. I am Terry Davis, and I'm so proud to be the Executive Director here at Vision Forward. Vision loss is a very individualized journey. Every day, people like Shailene come to us for help in managing the impact of their visual impairment so they can discover new ways to accomplish the tasks of daily living. Fortunately for Shailene, her positive attitude, tenacity, helped her to do anything she put her mind to by not letting her vision loss be a barrier. Shailene has been a true inspiration to all of us here. Shailene also talked about the services she received at Vision Forward during every step of her journey. Working with our team of experts, she learned skills for daily living, like how to cook safely and prepare meals, walking with a white cane, and learning to use voice commands for the computer and other technology, so she can do the everyday tasks and activities just like her sighted peers. To make this type of training available to people learning to adapt to vision loss, it requires $100 a month per individual. That's $1,200 a year. That's less than $3.30 a day to transform a person's life from one of struggles and fear to one of independence and participation. The return on this investment lasts a lifetime. Overall, it takes $3 million to ensure that every child, teenager, adult, and senior who comes to Vision Forward for services can receive the specialized help necessary to live successfully with little or no sight. Our modest program fees and other revenue help us with our operating budget. However, even with these financial sources, we still have a funding gap of $1.2 million annually. As of today, our financial contributions total $603,000. Yes, we have more work to do to close the gap. However, our programs are highly specialized and vital. I'm confident that we will inspire enough donors to invest in life-changing services so others like Shailene can master the skills they need to live independently. Our staff is so passionate about their work and diligent in their efforts to ensure that everyone who needs our help will receive it. It's our mission and we live it every day. This is so important because vision loss continues to rise throughout our world, and Vision Forward is the only place in Wisconsin that offers the comprehensive services for people of all ages and at all stages of vision loss. Thank you for spending time with us this morning. We've hoped you've learned more about our services and the impact they have on the lives of some very special people. And now, Lisa will share some appetizing details about another experience we hope you'll join us for, our virtual Dining in the Dark at Home. Lisa?
Thanks, Terry. Thank you all for joining us. We hope you were inspired today and have a greater understanding of vision loss and the services Vision Forward can provide to those impacted. As Terry mentioned, we still have a lot of work to do to ensure we're here for the growing number of people like Shailene. So I'm excited to invite you to an event you're not going to want to miss. It's Dining in the Dark. It will be at home this year on Sunday, November 1st at 5 p.m. During the event, you'll learn about a little girl, 5-year-old McKinley, and her story with vision loss as told from her parents. You'll have a chance to enjoy an appetizer, a meal, or a beverage, whatever you choose, while being blindfolded in the safety of your own home and with those that you want to invite. To learn more about Dining in the Dark, go to the Vision Forward website. We'll be posting more information as the event draws near. That concludes the formal presentation today, but we're happy to entertain questions that you may have. And I'll pass back to Susan to guide us through that part of the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. So as Lisa mentioned, we have time for just a couple of questions, and you can ask those questions live if you would like. To do that, you can select the unmute button at the bottom of your screen. If you're using keyboard commands, you can select Alt-A. And if you're on the phone, you can unmute by using *6. So do I have any questions? We have a question for Lisa and Shailene. The question is, how did Lisa and her husband and Shailene find out about Vision Forward? Shailene, do you want to respond to that first?
Yes. Well, I found out about Vision Forward through a social worker of mine. She came out here. We came to Vision Forward. It was the Badger then, so we came out and got some paperwork. And they gave us a packet, and then we had to go through DVR and apply for the services. And then I had to wait a few months and get evaluated, and then I came.
Very good. How about you, Lisa? How did you hear about Vision Forward?
We were referred by a city worker. We lived in the city of Waukesha, and they met with us and provided a number of resources and told us we should go to Vision Forward.
Great. So Shailene, I actually have a question for you. I'm aware that you use quite a bit of technology to do work and things in your daily life. Mm-hmm. So for you, what is the one tool that really has made the most impact for you?
I would think it was the iPhone. So since they...
Can you tell us what kinds of things that helps you do?
It helps me to get emails quicker. It helps me use the color identifiers. It helps me do grocery shopping. It helps me to just be able to navigate with just
Oh, I
all.
think we lost you there for just a second. Can you repeat that last thing? You said it helped you do grocery shopping?
Grocery shop.
Uh-huh.
And just anything that my sighted peers can do, I can do readily just at my fingertips. It helps me interact with my daughter with like, cause she has autism. So I'm
Uh-huh.
able to use the different apps that she has to use, like potty training apps. I'm able to use more
Wow.
accessibly off of the iPad because they're interchangeable to put on there easier. So with the iPhone and the screen reader, it's just more accessible for me. So the iPhone has been a lifesaver.
That's awesome. And then I just have one final question, and that's for you, Erica. So I know it can be impactful when people who are new to vision loss meet other people who maybe had similar experiences. Can you talk just a little bit about what you see in your work as a social worker with how that can impact people?
Oh, thank you, Susan. That is such a great question because I've seen the big impact that this has had on people. We have support groups here where people meet and talk with one another about what's it like to have this change in their life. How are they succeeding? Where are they finding it challenging? And it's heard so differently between people who are visually impaired.
Mhm.
If you hear that someone else is trying something that you've been afraid of, you think, well, maybe I can do that too, rather than hearing it from someone that you think doesn't understand your situation.
Mhm.
It's really very powerful, either to have people in the groups or for me to find a match for them individually, for them to talk that way.
Yeah, that's great. Well, it looks like we have bumped against our ending time here. If any of you think of any questions after we're done today, please feel free to find us at vision-forward.org, type us a message, one of us will get back to you, and we'd love to answer those questions. We really appreciate everyone joining us today for this More Than Meets the Eye experience. I am looking forward to being part of Dining in the Dark on November 1st. And I hope that you can join us too, and you will be finding out more information about that in upcoming emails. Thank you again and have a great day.